that white thing?
This is the microphone, so no longer will you have to listen to my videos with really bad audio.
Ah, nice.
Hopefully
So
it works.
it's been
Testing
going
1, 2,
for a
3.
while.
Now I'm talking right into the mic. Let's just see if that works. All right. So cognitive models. Everyone ready? Just start taking notes. I will post a YouTube video of this later, but
What
no,
about the Lord of the
don't
Flies
ignore,
sheet? Just ignore that for now?
ignore that for now. Exactly.
Gotcha.
No, what?
Gotcha.
The Lord of the Flies thing
Oh.
sheet. Yeah, just ignore it for now. Okay, cognitive models. Here we go. Fancy term. Probably a lot of you are thinking, I don't even remember doing this, so we're going to review it a little bit, all right? So what is a cognitive model? Let's just start with that. Cognitive models, and this is the scientific definition. I don't even want you to write this down. I want you to read it. I want you to hear it, see it, and paraphrase. Put into your own words, okay? A cognitive model is an approximation to animal cognitive processes, predominantly human, for the purpose of comprehension and prediction. Another way of fail. The other way of saying that is for English class, we've taken this term and kind of co-opted it and used it in our own way. And that is to say, for cognitive models in English class, in this class and others for 9th grade, we are using this term to describe the way human beings, in particular, comprehend and predict. Or in other words, how we comprehend the world, how we understand the world, and how we understand ourselves, and how we make predictions about both the world and ourselves, right? You make predictions on the world, don't you make predictions about who you're going to be in life based on what you know yourself already to be, right? We call that a cognitive model, at least in our class. It's this idea that you have a sort of mindset and a view of yourself that determines who you are, in a way. The funny thing about cognitive models is it's not always accurate. Remember we talked about this? Sometimes it doesn't match up with reality. Sometimes you think you're a good person, and then you go to an island with a bunch of friends, and you start killing each other, and you're like, wait, I didn't know I was able to kill people. That's interesting. So such is the story of Lord of the Flies. Not you, I wasn't implying anything there, but we're going to talk about that today. What are our cognitive models? First, I showed you this at the beginning of the year, and this probably went right over your head. So now, you know, this is, in English class, this is about mapping, about orientation, which means like, you know, where you are in relation to the world and others. Cognitive models as a predictor of what is going to come. We have to consider the role of anomalies, right? Something happens like plane crash, everyone kills each other. Role of experience. How does experience shape who you are and how you see the world? And here we go. I don't know if you know about Augustine, but we're also going to talk about him next week. Rousseau and Augustine, big thinkers.
Augustine was a Greek learned about them in history.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're gonna get to that next week. So I'm really glad. Usually I don't time this as perfectly. This is like perfect timing. So you're gonna actually be able to like tell me what they thought. Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud. Anyone hear of those people?
Yeah, Sigmund.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So those are also thinkers who came up with cognitive models that, I mean, Sigmund Freud, the idea of the ego, everyone here should know the ego. That's like shaped our national cognitive model.
Right.
And that is a concept, a sort of cognitive model that was created by someone, you know, about 100 years ago.
What's the
Yeah, Carl Jung, Jungian archetypes. Trimester 3, we talk about archetypes. So if you're like, what is that? Don't worry about it right now.
Okay.
I'll still type in this.
All right. The idea of original sin, right? Garden of Eden. We read that in class. That's a cognitive model, right? So
Mankind's essential wellness. All right.
I'm gonna right now the sort of second part of this presentation is where are we now? What's our cognitive model now of the world, and how do we maybe share one? All right. First, how would you describe the typical American, and I mean by that United States model of the world and our place in it? And that's actually a real question. I'm wondering like what you think. And there's not like a right answer, but like.
So rate this question.
I want you to answer this question. How how would you describe sort of the collective, sort of societal model of the world and our place in it? How does America view the world and our place in it?
Well, America is kind of like the top of the world right now, and I think that's kind of what
Not so much,
well,
actually.
not so much, but like
China on
Great.
board.
I didn't ask where we are. I asked what is our model of where we are. So I think Zoe is probably more accurate about where we think we are versus where we actually are.
it's
Yeah.
like the best ever.
Right.
And like we kind
The
of
best
do
ever.
what
We do what we want and we're the best, right?
And then it's
Good. Sarah, anything else?
something that is true, but it's more of like things that it adds on to how Phil says.
Yeah.
Like that, just recently they had the rescue of people who were hostage in the tribes in Africa, and they went in and air rescued.
Yeah, it was Somalia. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
they rescued them. And I think people like when things like that happen, or when you see
Yeah, we love
something
those stories, right? It's like
people love those stories, and
America,
it's
yeah.
like, well, that's our place, America. And it's like what Phil said, it's just like we're on top of the world and we
Right.
know everything we're doing.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're alright.
We view ourselves as like everyone is up to us.
Yes.
Everyone follows our.
Castle on the Hill.
Everyone follows our cognitive model. I don't know
Right.
if that made sense. I didn't.
Absolutely. All right, so you're getting the idea. I think you're getting the right track here, and we're gonna go back to this question, but that's you get the idea. I'll give you. So I want to give you some other sort of versions of what you just said. Here's I'm gonna give you actual literal maps of the world, but not maps in the way you usually see maps, but maps according to our cognitive models. So here's one that maybe goes along with what you just said. All right, this is a map of the world according to America.
Coffee comes from
Santa.
Give me the video later.
Where's more water? Uninhabited, more
All right.
Kangaroo, that's cool.
Yes, I apologize for the
This is
some
really
of the
bad.
flagrant words, but
This is really bad.
let's be honest here, right? Yes. Okay, so this is like, I've seen this. This was the first time I saw this was shared to me through Facebook. Somebody put it on there, but so I think we can kind of agree here, or I could speak for you in saying that like we're all laughing because it's kind of true in a way. So I want to give you a couple more. So this is like the funniest one, but there's others like this that are kind of funny too. This is the United States and the world according to the United States and the world of dictatorships. There's like friendly dictators here. Yeah, there's potential trouble down here. Free dump site, right?
Anti-dictators.
What's
Random dictators.
What does it say?
First in democracy.
All right, here's now the
Where is Europe?
This is Europe according to the Americans. Right?
Smelly people. Mummy.
All right, here's I think Mexico is my personal favorite.
Thanksgiving.
All right. Yeah. I'm sure you've never seen that before. All right. Now a little more serious. Taking it down. This is the world literally. This is not some sort of figurative map. This is literally the world according to the population size of people who have less than $1 a day. All right.
So Europe is like.
Europe, United States, you can barely even see it. All right, now here's the world based on population size according to who has over $200 a day. All right. Now this, you would be wrong if you said that this was a cognitive model. It is a cognitive model in a way, but not like the others, right? This is more about numbers. But I want to show, the reason I'm showing this to you is because I want to show you how this relates to cognitive models, and this is really kind of freaky, okay? So keep this map in your head, and look at the next map, which deals with the media's coverage of different countries. So the United States media's coverage, the way the New York Times and ABC, those things cover the world, and it is very similar
That's so true.
to the power that's divided. Now in this case, this is 2007, so that's like, you know, Iraq is like a big deal. Probably right now it's like Iraq's tiny and maybe more, yeah, right, why? What's going on? Because of the economy, right? Greece would be huge. Spain, England.
And then also like where people overthrew
Right.
the government. Like,
What's that?
Oh yeah, look at yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like maybe, yeah, for any other reason that this revolution has been occurring, the Arab Spring. One of the best things is like people are like, oh my God, Egypt. I thought it was just a place with pyramids, right? So do you see how our cognitive models are not related to what is actually going on in the world or what the world is, but as more like it's about perception, right? What we talked about in the Midsummer Night's Dream. So again, how would you describe the typical American model? I think you get the idea here. Likewise, so how do we tie this to English class? Well, we've been discussing this in a way as we read these novels. William Golding, right, Lord of the Flies, he is clearly affected by what's going on with, you know, the early 20th century, right, World War II, all that stuff. Shakespeare, we didn't talk about this because this is 9th grade, but by junior and senior year, you're going to be talking about how Shakespeare is affected by the Elizabethan age and you know, what's going on politically in London. Achebe. We did talk about Achebe, right? Remember we talked about how he's influenced?
Yeah.
Why is he influenced by Western culture as much as African?
That he was like broke a little.
He was.
They were invaded, but also
Born in Africa, but lived in.
his parents were not just Catholic, they were missionaries. Chinua Achebe. Things fall apart, remember? So, in that case, can you see how Achebe's own cognitive model is influenced by two major factors there? Yeats wrote Second Coming. Remember that? Things Fall Apart, Center Cannot Hold.
Oh yeah.
He is also, you know, he's describing basically the end of an era, and you've got to connect that with what's going on in his own life, right? Likewise, and I'll include this later. I'll give you the video if you No, I'm waiting. Okay, I'm waiting.
Wait, do we need to write this down? Probably not.
I guess Sarah's cat.
I'll probably just
be
put
upset.
some authors get
I-
affected by their set time soon.
You know what? If you want, again, you can review this.
What was that?
I'm gonna give you the YouTube link later.
Okay, I'm
Right.
gonna post it on.
Yeah.
Didn't hear that.
Okay, likewise, characters, right?
Yeah.
Ralph. Does anyone remember? This is a $500 question, Jeopardy question here. How is Ralph? What is his? Well, I guess characters like people are influenced by things like media, right? What influences Ralph to have such an optimistic view about the island that they're on? Sarah? Okay, he's raised.
He was where he's raised, and
Sure.
now what's going on.
There's something else I'm looking for, but you're right. Jody, I saw second.
His father was like the army guy, and so he was
Yep.
like, he's
Sure.
gonna come rescue
Yeah,
us.
yes, he grew up with that presence in his life, that feeling of safety.
Security.
Wasn't it one of you guys?
Treasure Island.
Close.
The
Not Treasure Island.
Coral.
Coral Island. Remember Coral Island? Kinda, no.
No,
Oh, yeah, I know, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like.
He says, remember, Ralph says, we're all gonna be safe. Don't worry, guys. I know this is to be a good island. He's
I think they found about the book though.
he literally says it's just like Coral Island, right? So here we have literally the character in the story. This is why we love Lord of the Flies as English teachers, because Ralph literally tells you what he's being influenced by. A lot of these stories, they don't do that, right? Okonkwo, what's his cognitive model? Probably, well, he rejects his father's sort of way of doing things.
Which is why he's like so.
Okonkwo shares a certain model that we even see in our Western society. What's his need for powers, and it's based on what?
He
Like
was
authority,
growing up
like-
as with no power. I don't know.
Not only that, who dominates in his society?
Men.
In men, right? So it's a patriarchal model, yeah. Creon has his model. We don't have to go into it. Theseus, right? Remember the poets and lovers? He has this model of like how do you view a performance or a work of art? How do you appreciate that? All of these characters, and then trimester 3, we're gonna read the Odyssey and talk about Odysseus's cognitive model. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So that's the end of the lecture for now, and now we're gonna move on to something else. But any questions?
No.
Okay, let's stop that lecture then.
Spot.
I don't like it.